Hey, this is Patrick Banks. I am doing an on-service, or actually an in-service, for Mississippi Power down in Gulfport, Mississippi today. They have recently taken delivery of a 2020 Freightliner with a custom Maintainer body. I have Shad Welch here. He's the operator of this truck. And with Maintainer, it's all about safety. So before we start talking about some of the aspects of the body, I want to talk about the safety of the truck and what Shad has to do on a daily basis for his pre-trip inspection. So go ahead, Shad. Talk about it.
Well, you know, you're required to do a pre-trip and a post-trip inspection before and after you operate the vehicle. So, you know, for years we used a paper logbook. You just sit in the cab and check everything off that you checked. And now we have electronic logs pretty much. It's almost like an e-log, but it's just an inspection. And it's also telematics. It's hooked to this thing. It's called a Zonar. We've been using them for, I don't know, I think we're on year 4 with these things. We have pretty good luck. If the engine light comes on, it'll send a report. So if you have a remote vehicle somewhere in a township, we can actually get on the Zonar site and see, you know, why the engine light's on. It kind of helps you out diagnosing and, you know, getting your workload planned out. You don't have to have a pen to do your pre or post inspection now. This thing is docked in the truck. It's also got a cool little light if it's nighttime. We've got 10 inspection points that are all around the vehicle, and you got to walk to the inspection point, do what's on here. You know, it just says to check the tires, the lug nuts, the air pressure, under the hood, check your belts, hoses. It's got a list in every sector of the truck to look at, just like the book did. As soon as you hit the green button for every tab, you scan every tab, then you hit yes if it's good or no if it's bad.
Little yellow tab here is the Zonar receiver. Also, this truck has a digital imaging system, which has cameras all the way around the vehicle. It basically accident avoidance. If he goes over a line, it's going to tell you.
Sure it does.
So that's one thing he's not gotten used to yet. So it's all about safety, but now let's talk about some of the aspects of this Maintainer body that was custom designed for Mississippi Power. This is the first one they've taken delivery of. We're in the process of building another one for them now that will be produced next year. So this unit is what we would call our Sig II package with a lot of custom options. It is powered by the Air&Arc 300 hydraulic system, which has a welder, air compressor, jump start, and a generator built into one. It also has all these custom drawers in it that he has laid out everything he has on the truck. They're actually labeled with what is in that compartment. This truck may be shared between a couple of different mechanics. They may swap trucks at some point. So that's why this is labeled. Everybody knows where everything is. If Shad was just operating it by himself, he would know where it is. But another mechanic may be looking, opening drawers, trying to find things. We also have a power inverter in this compartment. We charge cordless batteries. There's a 125% on the other side. That's off the generator. Coming into this compartment here, again, it's more drawers. This is all of his electronic stuff stored in this compartment. These compartments are watertight because they have a pressurized system that forces air into the compartment. That's a Maintainer advantage. Coming on back into this one, this is where your hose reel is for your air system. If you notice, he has made these little brackets here to be able to put all his aerosol cans and all that into the truck. It's got an air hose covered up here. There's also power in this compartment to operate the power opening cover. Taco, if you want to come around here, we want to open the cover. Gives you lots more added dry storage. It is secure, lockable. The only way you're going to open it is to have power to the body from inside the truck. Your main body power switch comes on. And this is the biggest vise I've ever seen. It's commonly called a boat anchor. I asked him why they wanted it, and he said, because we work on some big cylinders and that sort of thing, and it's already came in handy. You have your tone holder here. Again, here's another Zonar. What's part of your pre-chip? We check every quarter. You come to here, you also have air brakes and a pinwheel hook. You come up in the compartment. As I go up, you notice that these handles are red, this step is red. That is required of all Southern Company vehicles. It's a company mandated standard. So I'm coming on up into the truck. You notice this little compartment right here. Maintainer exclusive. You operate your outriggers from there to deploy the outriggers, up or down, and extension. In the event that your crane remote was to fail, you can also operate the crane from these pendants, or whatever you want to call it. And then you come down here into the floor, I'm not going to open it today, but this is where all your valves and pumps and stuff like that is for your hydraulic system. You notice we have E-track on the inside of this compartment, front to rear. This is also lighted where you can see at night the LED lights. LED lights in every compartment on this body. This is a tight open, watertight toolbox. It opens. He's got a lot of miscellaneous things in here for some of his applications. One including a blanket, so if he has to get on a dirty piece of equipment, it don't get dirty. I guess he likes to stay clean, although he don't look like it. Just trying to be funny, but this is the Maintainer 6520 crane. It is 6,000 pound capacity, 5 feet with 20 foot of reach. Shad, different block. Oh, just thinking block. Well, you have side facing work lights. You also have lights on the boom tip. You also have a light mounted on the back of this compartment. One thing that I missed was the little fiber box. That is where your hose reel is. So you open this box right here to get to your hose reel so it's not exposed into the elements. One thing about Maintainer, and I've been selling service bodies for about 13 years, you notice this is just not a hole cut in this body. You see this nice little finished ring? That is rounded on all the edges. If you were pulling a hose or a hydraulic line or a wire through a hole in the body and that were not there, you have a chance of cutting the wire or fraying the hose. Again, it's attention to detail when it comes to service trucks. So coming on around the body, I like to point this out. I don't know why, but again, attention to detail. You line those two arrows up, your crane is in a perfectly stowed position. This little brain box here is for your air and arc system. You have 12 24 volt jump start, you have a DC charger, you have a welder, generator, it's all right there. Your remote system, proportional remote, various speeds from 25% up to 100 in 25 increments. I think Shad really likes that because it's proportional. And you can operate at different speeds, different line speeds, that sort of thing, lifting a heavy object, especially when you're swinging. One thing you notice I just put that back in there. If you don't put that remote back in that compartment, there's a light inside the cab that's going to illuminate to let you know the remote is not properly stored. Because I couldn't tell you the times before that was common. People leave the remote on a bumper, they take off down the road, they don't have the remote. Remotes are not cheap, a couple $1,000 to replace one. So coming on around again, this compartment here, he's got all kind of bolts and nuts and fittings and that sort of thing. But it's also where his controls for his evac system are located. This truck has a waste oil system, which is very useful to him in his application. You also have a gauge here that tells you how much is in the system at one time, how many gallons of oil. It's got a 45 gallon capacity. Again, this is your torch bottle compartment. Looks like he's using it for rain gear storage.
Yeah, I don't have any torches yet.
They don't have torches on this truck yet because it's new. But neat compartment. Notice it's vented out here. I guess that's why you put your rain jacket in there, because if it's not pressurized, and if it leaks,
they got my creeper in there.
You got everything in there. If it's wet, it's going to dry out on its own. Again, more drawers with a 120 volt plug going to the inverter. Now, this is the biggest advantage to service trucks I've seen. How many of you are out there in the field working today, or tomorrow, or any time in your career, that would just love to have a water system in your truck to wash your hands? You can open this valve right here in the front of the body. You just wash your hands. But if you turn the pump on, is it powered? Let me show you how much pressure this thing has. And Taco, you might want to stand out of the way for what it's telling you. This is the first time I've done this. I'm going to stand on the side. See how much pressure you have? So if you need to wash maybe a hose off or a hose out, or maybe wash a part off with some degreaser or something, you have the capability of doing that. All of these trucks have LED lighting. If you can see that, come in close, you can see the LED lighting inside the compartment. Very nice. This is one of the cameras. You have a back camera, one of these on each side. and one on the front bumper that gives you an image of the entire vehicle stitched together. So if Shad is in an accident, let's hope he's not, but if he is, they're going to be able to tell what he was doing because he was also watching inside the cab. So in other words, Shad, no playing on your phone going down the road. And it actually protects the company in the event of an accident. So they will know what he's doing. You know, somebody may try to say, well, he had a failure. He didn't do his pre-trip inspection. Well, it's digitally recorded that he did. Because he's going to take that Zonar, he's going to put it in his docking system, and it's going to be uploaded to the Mississippi Power server. So just continue walking around. It's an excellent truck. It's on a Freightliner M2. Come around the front. Here's your panel. Front camera. We machined this little panel out of aluminum to mount that to inside the grill. So let's walk back around here. I want to talk to Shad one more time. Since I done made fun of him, I'm just going to talk to Shad again. Talk about him. He acts like he wants to keep playing with a blanket, but then he's dirty.
Yeah.
It's a man that works for a living. But Shad, how do you like the new Maintainer compared to some of the service trucks you've had in the past?
I love it. I love it. The drawer space is good. The bin space is good. The bed quality is fantastic. Bed quality is absolutely. All the welds are good. All the corners around it. All hardware is tip top. It doesn't have cheap little hardware on it. It's well put together. I've had it for a couple of 2 or 3 months, and I have no complaints. It's been fantastic.
Again, when it comes to service trucks, it's the simple things, and it's the attention to detail. It's the small things. Anybody can build a service truck, but when a company takes the time that Maintainer does for the small attentions to detail to put the quality in it. I met with a customer yesterday that is running a Maintainer service body that is 23 years old. He bought another one today. So if you're looking for longevity, something that's going to last, something you depend on, you're not going to have to worry about breaking on you in the field, Maintainer is the only way to go.